My guest today actually flunked high school art class, but went on to become a celebrated Pagan-Goth fine artist. Stay tuned to hear the rest of the story.
He's a Florida witch with something to say. Your friendly old sage with a teddy bear face. The Alexian show. The magic's on its way. He's all set to play, so let's not delay. Welcome to Alexian's show.
Merry meet, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome back to the show. Joining me today is Galena, my co-host. Hey, Galena.
Hello.
Draken is on vacation, so Galena has graciously volunteered to fill in for Draken. She's up in Maryland visiting with her grandbabies again. I can't believe it. It's already show number 20. Number 20. We're closing in on 2 years. I have a suggestion real quick. If you are just tuning in, but you don't think you have enough time to watch, why not listen on your drive to work or even while you're taking a shower? It's a great way to fill fit our show into your day. That's what I do. I actually watch a lot of shows in the shower, or listen to them anyway. So as of last night, we have gained another 5,000 subscribers since the last show. Isn't that crazy? This brings the total of subscribers to over 24,000 plus people that have tuned in. Interesting statistics. I don't know what happened, but the algorithm fired, and India actually is number 1. Amazing. Thank you so much for watching, India. USA come in number 2. And Brazil is still in the house with number 3 in 3rd place. We're so thankful for all of our viewers. Without your continued support, the show would not be possible. And please, those that are watching now, please let us know where you're watching from live today. Drop it in the YouTube comments down below right now. And if you haven't already done so, hit the live button, which is right next to the volume slider on YouTube. This will bring you up to the live feed, like only a second behind, maybe 2 seconds behind what we're feeding out without a buffer. And you need to be watching live with no buffer in order to get a chance to win the prizes in the Arcane Treasures Giveaway at the end of the show. You can always watch the beginning of the show later if you've missed it. So what have you been up to, Galena? What's new?
Not much, really. As you know, I take classes through you, so trying to keep up and get caught up with that.
I know I'm quite the taskmaster.
Yes, you are. And, of course, dust bunnies seem to be piling up in places around the house, so trying to push them out. So.
Cleaning is always good. Yeah, it's crazy. But I know Galena is actually a private Wiccan student of mine, and she is 1st degree working towards 2nd degree in the Alexandrian tradition. And she's starting to feel it right now. Starting to feel it. If anybody's been through the process, you know that 2nd degree, that's when all the shadow work happens, right? That's when you have to face up to all of the stuff. And she's pushing through like a champ. You're doing a really good job. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm pushing forward myself with my music production and running an online pagan community. If you would happen to be interested in joining us, I'm loving every minute of it. I mean, hanging out with you guys at bonfire bardic circles and teaching different things about Wicca and spellcraft, etc. You can join us in our, let me see if I have this ready. Do I have it ready? There we go. To join us in my community, the Cool Cats, and it also gets you early access to my music. You get to see sneak peeks and all of the things that I'm working on, including sneak peeks of the Chant of the Month Club. So again, that's alexianmusic.com/community if you're interested. Or at the very least, if you're interested in my music, get on my email list, which is called Per. My matron goddess is Bost, so my whole community is cat themed. And my newsletter is called Per. And you can find that where that red arrow is pointing in the box at the top right corner of my website. And I do want to take a second before we go any further to congratulate Craig. Craig won our September Arcane Treasures Giveaway. He lives in Indiana, and he got some awesome music from Wendy Rule from last show. So congrats, Craig. Thanks for watching. So today I have my dear friend Joie Higgins, which is a Pagan-Goth fine artist, with us. But before we bring her on, how's the chat going, Galena? Has anybody said where they're from?
Yes, let's see. We've got. Well, nobody said. Oh, there we go. Follow.
Paulo. Hey, Paulo from Brazil. Glad you're tuning in.
We've got Becca. Hi, Becca.
Becca from Missouri. Awesome. Thanks for watching.
And that's all we got.
That's all we got so far. Okay. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Each action gets you one step closer to winning the Arcane Treasures giveaway at the end of the show. And while you're at it, be a helper and share the show with your like-minded friends and help us spread the word. Remember, this is an interactive show with questions and answers. So Galena will be in the YouTube comments, so don't be shy. Ask your questions by typing them in. Okay, let's bring on our guest.
It's time for Pagan Visual Arts.
She is a darkly whimsical Pagan-Goth artist whose haunting, otherworldly creations blend magic, myth, and the macabre. From fairies to horror icons, her unique artistic voice has captured hearts around the world. Everyone, please welcome Joie Higgins to the show. Hey, darling.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just happy to be here.
Yay. I'm so happy that you're here. I can't believe it. Finally got you on the show. I've been poking her. When are you going to do the show?
Yes, much poking, much arm twisting.
I got her to come out of her dark cave and join us. Now, we first met when I joined the Fairy Coven here in Orlando. I want to say 91, 92-ish.
I think I had my introduction with that group probably in 93. You were there before me, though. So, yeah.
Oh, see,
yeah.
I don't even remember. I don't remember. It's like another lifetime ago, you know?
It is.
Yeah, I was there just before you, probably. Yeah. You remember those days?
I do. I remember them fondly. Miss them a lot sometimes.
There she is.
There I am. Still with
the baby Joy in her fantastic hair.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of Hillary and Joy.
Fun times in North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah. Hillary is the founder of the Fairy Coven that was here in Orlando.
Yes.
And here is Nasa, Hillary and Joy. Nasa and I actually play World of Warcraft together now.
Yeah, she was telling me that you guys have a little server that you guys have set up. So you guys are in contact with each other all the time.
Yeah, I talk to her, mostly about game stuff, but every once in a while we contemplate life. So it's nice to, talk to her on a regular basis as well. So tell us and our viewers about how you became known as the magical EMT within the coven.
Well, in our ritual that we would do for whatever reason, whether it was Beltane or for new moon or whatever, we had to have these elaborate setups because we felt like we had to have an elaborate setup. So any little thing that would go wrong, I always felt like I needed to take care of it to have everybody have the same kind of experience through the ritual. So if the music was messing up or lighting was off or somebody didn't have a supply that they needed right at hand during an important piece of the ritual, I would just kind of flutter in real quick and just like place those things or fix that thing or, make sure that somebody was all right. And I kind of got the reputation as a technician of some sort to come in and fix everything real quick. And
Well,
nobody would notice, but they would be like, who fixed that? And I was like, oh, Joy did it,
little fairy, that's who did it. Sounds like you were the mama, you were
was
making sure everybody was taken
helicopter
care of.
mom, maybe the helicopter mom, just like, hovering over everybody to make sure that they had a good ritual.
Were you there for the ritual? Well, I got a couple of stories actually. Were you there for the ritual when we were at Hillary's and the wax caught on fire in the cauldron and Hillary mistakenly decided to throw the wine on it and it exploded fireball and hit the ceiling? Were you there for that?
Ceiling. Yes, I was. We had a couple of pyrotechnic moments. I think there was a ritual over at Kendra's as well where something happened. You put a bunch of Aries in a room around a cauldron and, stuff's going to happen, So I think something sparked and it just went,
Yes. It was literally a fireball. I remember we all went back like this and this nuclear bomb went off in front of us out of the cauldron. It hit the ceiling and literally the flames spread across the ceiling and the little ceiling fan started spinning on its own.
Mm-hmm. And there was a little bit of soot on the ceiling. I remember that. So
I want to say it was Kendra that broke circle, ran outside, grabbed sand, came back in and threw it on the fire and it instantly went out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was her. Wasn't me that time.
Were you there for the ritual where I was priest and I drew down and I actually lost consciousness because I was so...
Yes.
Like the god took me over and then I ended up fainting and crashing into the altar.
Yes.
You were for that? That was one of the only times. Maybe there was another time, but I can't remember that one as well as that first time. It was the first time that had ever happened where the god energy literally possessed me, like took me completely over. I was not there anymore.
Right.
And I heard the stories after you all told me about it, but we were doing a ritual out in nature and it was to protect the land because they were like bulldozing it down. And it was insanely sad energy. And everybody said that the god came into me and just screamed, but it wasn't my voice. It was like this big voice. And then I collapsed onto the altar. It's a miracle I didn't stab myself with the
right. I know. I know. It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah. It was very strong energy that night.
Yes. It was very real. Very real. But here is some of the coven there. You want to acknowledge people there?
Well, I see Lee. I see Miranda, Alan McBride, Mesa, Marion. I'm sure there's. I'm right in the back there, popping my little head up out the back.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hills there in the front.
she is. Yes, ma'am.
Good times.
Yeah, fun times.
Wow. Wow. So, speaking of nature, tell us about the one encounter that you had with the bear.
Okay, so I before I moved out to Seattle, I lived in Sorrento, Florida, which is in Lake County in Florida. It's right on the Wekiva River. And we had a nice little house back there. It was about 1.25 acres that went straight back to the river. Being somewhat new in that area and not realizing how much actual wildlife was going to be there, we used to keep our garage open. And I'm just going about my day, just gotten home, was mixing dinner together and putting things away. And I decided I wanted to have a drink. I wanted to go out to my garage refrigerator and get a beer. It was just getting dusk. It was almost dark. So I'm looking at my phone, going outside, opening up the door, get to the refrigerator, and I step on something. And it was, you do that. It was like, that doesn't feel right. That's not floor. That's not concrete. That's something squishy right there. And you jerk back, And when I jerked back, my knee hit something. And it was a bear's jaw. So I stepped on its foot, kicked it in the chin, and we both looked at each other and ran the other way. And I ran into my living room and I looked out and he was going right down the driveway. So I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta go shut the garage. It was one of the most intense wildlife encounters I've ever had. Wasn't my last encounter with bears living in that area because it's along the corridor of the Wekiva River. They're just up and down all the time.
They're everywhere up there. I thought you were going to say you opened your door and you saw a bear in your garage. I wasn't expecting the hand-to-hand combat.
No. It was, that was wild. Literally wild. My National Geographic moment right there.
Wow. That's a little frightening for sure. For both of you, probably.
Both of us. But it was a young bear, he's probably in there just, looking for stuff to eat and
rummaging. Yeah.
Yeah. I learned my lesson to close my garage door before it got dark. So yeah, learn my lesson real quick.
And you once also had another animal literally come knocking on the door?
Yes. That was so fun. So we had just moved into the same house in Sorrento. And I was there by myself. I was painting before we moved in. And I hear knock, 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 knock. And I was like, nobody knows I'm here. And I was like, maybe it was just, somebody leaving something at the front door or something. And I heard it again, like twice more. And I opened up the door and there's a literal herd of turkeys, like just pecking at the door. And I was like, freaked out. I just jumped out of my skin. I was like, please don't get in the house. Oh my gosh. But yeah, they would do that regularly. They would come and knock on the door. I don't know why, just to let me know that they were going to be in my yard, I guess. So please don't have anything happen to us.
You had morsels, alms for the poor. Alms for the poor.
Yeah, interesting. Fun times.
Wow. Any other experiences with nature that popped to mind?
Well, I did witness a very small hummingbird nest being built and used, which is something that you don't get to see every day.
Yeah, that's hard to see for sure.
Yeah. If it hadn't been, it was amazing to me because it was so low in a tree and I just kept tracking where the hummingbird was going and it just happened to see it with binoculars that they were building a nest and all that. David here, he has a whole herd of hummingbirds that he feeds here in Seattle. Yeah, there's like 5 of them, and they harass you until you feed them. So we feed them all winter long, and they'll stay all winter.
Wow, all winter.
hmm We've
That's
got pictures
amazing.
somewhere of them, like, at the feeders while it's snowing.
How
So
cold does it get there?
how cold does it get? I mean, it can get down into the teens here. We don't get a lot of snow in Seattle, but you get just outside of Seattle, like 45 minutes to an hour or so. It's much snowier.
Wow. I actually did not realize that hummingbirds would stay that far north through the winter.
Mm-hmm. They sure will.
Wow. Interesting. Good to know.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Remember, this is an interactive show, so type your questions into chat. Just a friendly reminder. I heard you got to walk around one of the biggest inspirations that you've ever had, a movie set for Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Love my husband, David. I love it because he's so spontaneous sometimes that it's just crazy, and he'll come up with the craziest ideas and we'll just go and do it. He happened to get a deal on a flight. He didn't tell me about it. He just woke me up one Saturday morning and said, we're going to New Zealand in October. And I was like, what? Because we were going somewhere else just a month before. We were going to Ireland. So, no, Hawaii. Sorry, we're going to Hawaii. And then we were going to go to New Zealand, like literally 3 weeks later. So while we were there, New Zealand is gorgeous, by the way. And it's just, you can see every reason in the world why they made the movies there, But while I was there, I did the hokey thing, and I went and got to walk around Hobbiton and see, Bag End and all the little hobbit hollows that they have there. It was really fun. It was fun and beautiful, and they made it so when you took the tour that you were actually like a part of the little Hobbiton town. So they treated you like you were a hobbit. You got to go to the Green Dragon and have drinks and food and all that stuff. But my favorite thing to do when I'm at someplace like that is just to take in all the details. I'm not really looking so much to do the touristy things. I want to look at like the carving of the set.
You're an artist.
Yeah, those things fascinate me. It's just like somebody's hands made these, It's just so intricate. Yeah, it was really an amazing time.
I can totally see you doing that, like rubbing a wall and looking at the carving on it. I get it too. I mean, it's amazing, the detailing. I once went on a RSVP tour in Disney, way back when we could still do that. And there was a gentleman and his family that was on the VIP tour as well. And he was actually from another theme park. I think he was out of Nashville or something. And he was making note of all of the detailing on the walls and on the props and all of the things, and he was like I could tell he was jotting down ideas, like how that would affect him. Isn't that cool how art does that, is my point. Like, you can be inspired by other artwork. You're not going to copy it, but you're going to go make your version of it, or something. It might have an aspect of it that inspires an aspect of your artwork. Isn't that cool?
It is so cool.
It's like energy, it's like an energy, and the energy has a mind of its own, and it spreads through us as artists. You with the visual arts and me with the recording arts, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So you also had some incredible celebrity encounters too. Tell us about yourself running into Will at MegaCon and Billy Piper.
Oh my goodness. I was, again, at a convention I wasn't vending at that time. I was just there with my son and my husband. And turns out the whole cast from like Star Trek, TNG, was there, the Next Generation. And I just wasn't paying attention. I was on my way to the restroom, actually. And again, looking down, trying to track my son, who was 13 at the time, and he was running around this convention center all by himself with a couple of friends. And I was just like, okay, just trying to make sure that he was all right. And I hit smack, like hard, not paying attention. And I look up and I'm like, I'm sorry, pardon me. And I like literally just took one step aside and I watched Will Wheaton walk. He was like, it's okay, it's all right. And I'm like, my jaw's open. And I was just like, I couldn't say anything because I'm a total dork like that and I get starstruck really easy.
So when you ran into Will Wheaton, you literally physically ran into
I ran into him. Literally ran into him.
That's great. A great story. He seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's super cool. He's a nice, down-to-earth guy, I think. Yeah. He's a good kid. I always think of him as a kid, though, because
yeah. Well, he's a grown man now, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And Billy Piper, I was vending at MegaCon that year. It was my first time vending at a convention ever. And I would have to say that probably my artwork did not fit the superhero standard that was the craze back in the day. And of course, Billy Piper's from Doctor Who. That's what she was there for at the time. And my stuff that I was doing right at that particular time was more magically based. It was a cross between mystic based, tarot based, and steampunk of all things. So that's when I was doing my oracle cards that I was creating. And she stopped by and she talked to me about it quite a bit. She wanted to understand what that was all about and how I came up with that particular mash of art. So yeah, and then at that same time too, I also had a lot of pop fan art. I had a lot of Star Trek, Star Wars, Dune kind of stuff going on as well at that time. Yeah, but she sat there for probably 15, 20 minutes and talked to me, which is almost unheard of. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, well, she saw the talent, obviously. She was impressed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And speaking of impressed, I actually commissioned you to make this piece for me. As I said earlier in the show, my matron goddess is Bast, and I wanted a painting of Bast, and I'm like, Joy. So you graciously worked with me back and forth, and we came up with you came up with the design, and I requested that Bast have be standing with a sistrum and a basket, which she's commonly seen holding, but at her feet would be kittens. And these kittens are very special to me. In my life, I've had 3 cats, and all of them were familiars, but one of them was more so my familiar. From left to right, we have the white cat, which is Stinker. And she was my first baby kitten. She fit in the palm of my hand. And then skipping over the black cat, the gray one is Tabitha, and she was big, fat, sassy tabby cat. And then came Moot, the brown, black, tabby type cat. She was a mix, and she was a stray. And what was happening is I was doing magical work to get closer to my 2 cats, right, as familiars, but that's not what happened. Instead, the magic manifested. Those 2 cats did not change their behavior. Instead, a 3rd cat, the last one on the right, came knocking at the door at 6:30 in the morning, literally throwing herself on the door and scratching down the door until I opened it. And when I opened it, she ran in, turned around, sat down, started cleaning herself. What's for breakfast? I'm home. And she was
Oh my
very
gosh.
undernourished. I put her, separated her from the other cats, took her to the vet the same day. She checked out as healthy and had no diseases. So I started feeding her, and she basically slept and ate for 3 months until she was no longer a pancake, and became normal. And she just took over. She was mama. The other cats would hiss at her at the beginning, and she'd just look at them like, oh, please, I'm a street cat, I'll cut a bitch, and she literally took over. But because she was so motherly, I named her Mut, M-U-T, which is an Egyptian cat goddess, which means mother. That name means mother. And so I had Stinker, Tabitha, and Moot, and the three of them were my babies. And Moot was my familiar man. If I had my BOS out, my Book of Shadows, she was on top of it, whether if it was on the floor, on the altar, on the bed, on a nightstand, she was on top of that book, always on top of the book. She loved to be in circle. The other two could care less, but she loved to be in circle. So long story short, I hired Joy to make this painting for me that incorporates both my goddess and my three babies in the same painting. And we went ahead and threw in a fourth cat to be another representation of the younger generation of Bast's energy. And that's the little black cat. Yeah. And I love it.
I'm so glad.
It hangs above my nightstand by my bed. And just to the right of that is this giant, what do you call it? Hutch. It's like a big thing with a hutch on top. And it's my Bast altar in my bedroom. And it's filled, the whole thing is filled with Bast statuary and items and things. And so it hangs right there next to that Bast altar. And I absolutely love it.
I think you have another piece of Bast that I did for you.
You know what? You're right. It's inside the Bast altar. Yeah. I take a picture of that one though.
Oopsie.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. So tell us about Pinhead.
Oh, so I do 2 conventions a year where I vend, and they're both horror-based conventions. This one was at Crypticon, which is here in Seattle, and it's small. It's not a huge, well-known like MegaCon is, or Elvira Presents, or Oddities and Curiosities. It's a small local horror convention that they have in May here, and I had a couple of years ago painted Pinhead, and Doug Bradley, the actor, happened to be at this convention, and he came by and I asked him to sign it, and he signed it. So and he gave me nice compliments, and he goes, "That's very nice." I mean, he's very British, so but I was like, "Oh my gosh, he signed it. He really liked it," because there's just so much of his artwork that's out there as fan art.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I felt pretty privileged to have that.
That was a very iconic character.
Yes, very. For various reasons.
Yeah, for various reasons, obviously. Yeah. So, yeah, that is so cool that he signed your art, though.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're keeping that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely keeping that one. He's up on my wall right there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, so let's look at a few more of your pieces, and maybe you can give us some backstory on it.
Sure. Ah, my fox and feathers. That was a reference piece that I did. It really represents to me a certain feeling that you get at certain times of the year. So where you're hoarding and you're taking things in and you want to keep it and you want to be warm. So like an autumnal beginning of winter kind of feeling.
Like
With
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's sunny right now in Seattle, which is weird for this time of year.
It's been extremely dark and rainy. Not cold, but dark and rainy here in Orlando. And it's because of that tropical front moving by.
Mm,
And I just can't get my butt out of bed. Like I've been oversleeping by an hour, hour and a half every morning during this time. And
wow, that's
I thought
wild.
about it and I'm like, it's like I just want to curl up in a little ball, you know, and be under the
Mhm.
covers and listen to the rain, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually by this time here in Seattle, it's, we're full on, darkness is coming. And we know we lose 3 minutes of daylight every day up until December 21st here in Seattle.
Yeah.
So it goes from having almost 16 hours worth of daylight at the summer solstice to almost a little less than 8 hours of daylight at the winter solstice. So
Winter is coming.
it is coming, but it's nice and bright and shiny outside right now. I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting to be lit from this side as well as
Oh,
this side.
it knew you wanted natural lighting, so it manifested.
Edgar Allan Poe. He was such a big part of my childhood, really. I grew up in Sanford, Florida. I should not have this whole fascination with Edgar Allan Poe, but I was always drawn to his stories and of course his darkness. As you grow up, you learn a little bit more about his life and why he was the way that he was, but I really wanted to incorporate his gentle face with the things that that are most iconic about him, the ravens and the skulls and the darkness and the red of the Mask of the Red Death. And it's I just love him as an author and a person and as an artist. So I wanted to do him justice. I hope I did.
It's a beautiful, beautiful painting of him. We actually, Victor and I went to and our friends Nicholas and Anna, hey guys, went to a Poe event, and I forget what it's called, but basically they did like 5, I think it was, readings of Edgar Allan Poe,
Mhm.
and they served specialty drinks for each one. And we kind of thought it was going to be like a bar situation, but what it was more of a theater situation. And they still brought the drinks out and served them to you like waitresses and waiters. So it was really enjoyable, though, listening to the recitations of his pieces.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
really unique. It was a unique experience. And they travel. It's a traveling show. So they happened to be here in Orlando. So we went and saw that. We are having some technical difficulties with a couple of photos. You might have seen one pop by. So we're just going to skip this one too.
Okay, this piece is tarot based. There was a gallery here in Seattle called Ghost Gallery that every year would host a tarot show. And I was like, I'm in my element. I can do this show. I can do this one. So they wanted some more like different style tarot pieces. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to take this, Ace of Cups is basically what it is. It's like the first card of that part of the tarot, because you don't see those like super well represented in alternate ways. So I wanted to bring that aspect out, because you have your typical shadow card that uncovers the whole 10. I just really wanted to make sure that it was like made a statement of what that particular cup series was going to bring out in a person. Does that make sense?
Yes, and it certainly does. That's a very
Cool.
interesting concept. Yeah.
That was just a lovely little piece that I kind of doodled and put together. And it's actually one of my better selling pieces at my conventions. It's just kind of a standalone card.
I know that Galena's going to love that one.
Yay, Galena.
And this is your latest piece.
Yes, that is my latest piece. It is my homage to Wednesday. I didn't think I was going to like this show as much as I do. I really didn't think I was going to like it that much, but it's kind of grabbed me.
Yeah. Victor and I are obsessed. Love the Wednesday TV show on, where is it? Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, we saw the first season and we liked it. And the second season, I think, was just as good, if not even better.
Yeah, so, and I love all the new characters that they're starting to show. Like Grandma and yeah, I love it. I don't want to give anything away if anybody hasn't seen it, but it's a good season.
It's definitely worth watching. But you did such a great job, and I love the fact that you put the stained glass window behind her where Enid and her are roommates, so you get the colorful and then the dark, that yin yang feeling behind her, which is so cool.
It's so hard for me though, because I'm like, now that I've done Wednesday, I feel like I have to do the rest of the cast.
Might not be a bad idea. It really might not be. So what is the most memorable comment that you've received about your art?
When we were talking about this before the show, I don't really have like something outlandish or crazy or rude or mean or any of those things. I always get, your work is beautiful. I resonate with it. I recognize your work immediately, which I think those are the most complimentary statements that somebody could say, because I still blush when somebody buys something for me. Like if I'm at a convention and somebody's buying a stack of 5x7 prints, I'm like, oh, it's the best thing ever. If somebody buys a whole painting for me, I'm like so excited and so grateful. So I don't.
Listen, people that are watching, she's being truthful right here. Like, she is the most down-to-earth sweetheart that you will ever meet. She is so humble, and it is just so beautiful to see such a talented individual be so grounded and so respectful and thankful for people that actually want to buy her artwork. I think she's still in awe that people want to buy her artwork. And I keep telling her, and I know other people do too, that you are worthy. You're amazing. Your artwork is excellent. I'm sorry, I had to say that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it so much. I do. It really does mean a lot to me when somebody, takes a piece of me home with them. I'm like, that's incredible. I don't even know what else to say. Most of the time, I'm just like, thank you so much. So, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this shoot.
Well, I think that was probably back in 2018, 2019 that I did that. And the headdress itself was the prompting for the shoot. I often make things and then I'm like, okay, I can do that. And I put it down and like, okay, I'll take a picture of it. I'll put it on my Instagram and then, I'll put it away and hopefully somebody will like it. But I did that as a challenge to myself. I wanted to make that headdress I wanted to see if I could do it because I had seen so many beautiful ones. So I just took what I had around me, and of course at the time it was probably around Halloween. That's such the skulls,
Just
so
happen to
many
have a
skulls.
few hundred skulls laying
Oh,
around.
yeah, I just have those. So I was like, I want people to see it more than just a piece of artwork that I made that hopefully somebody will buy later. So I sat down in my little office here and set up a little home photo shoot and put it together. And I think they really came out really nice. It's on my banner for my conventions. That photo's my working photo.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the reason I wanted to show this, and I thank you for sending me the photo, is because she does more than just paint on flat canvas, right? You are, like you said before, you go to a lot of cons, and I have seen the costuming that you have whipped up for yourself and your son, right? And your husband too, I think, has dressed up a couple of times too. So, you're multi-talented. It's not just paint on canvas. And that proves it. That headdress proves it. It's beautiful. That's not AI, folks.
Nope.
This is way before AI,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So what's it like hearing about that connection with your fans? Like, how does that feel? Like, um, you know, do you get any inspiration from the feedback? Like for example, sometimes people will write back to me after they purchase my music and tell me how it's affected their life and helped them either mentally or emotionally get through a rough patch. Have you had any experiences with that and having more of a connection with your fans?
Yes. I mean, if I have the moment at wherever I happen to be vending or selling or hanging artwork in a gallery or whatever, I always want to know, why do you like this? Most of the time, people will just come out and tell me. I think the last Crypticon that I did last year, there was a woman who was very, very thoughtful in picking out the pieces that she was picking out. Not a huge amount of money, not asking for that, she was picking out little 5x7s, but she was being very, very deliberate in what she was picking out. And I'm like, I find it's like when you go to your hairdresser or you're sitting at your dentist's office, people will just tell you stuff. If you just don't say anything while they're doing it, they just kind of will just tell you. And she happened to be picking out 3 pieces for friends who were going through hard times. They were like, she was recognizing them in their state that they were at the moment, and she wanted to bring something to them to help them see that they are seen, that they have a need, and this can help them get through it. So I always find that's fun to hear, and it's
beautiful.
It makes me want to keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, it's little things like that that make me continue,
Absolutely. And for anybody listening, artists want to hear the feedback. They do. Don't think that you're bugging them. It makes our day when we hear back from people who have purchased my music or your artwork, and it inspires us to keep going and to make more. Right?
Absolutely. Yep. Every single time. A like, a share, a comment, a heart, whatever.
Everything matters.
It's not just about, going out and purchasing the art. It's making sure that people can see it.
Correct.
And in today's technology, it's very, very important to have that happen.
Yep. 1 billion voices trying to get attention.
Mm-hmm. We're all trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have things to teach, and we have things to share, and we have stories to tell through our artwork, or even just talking to us in person, even if it's
Mhm.
online, like we're talking right now. If they'll just take a deep breath and take a moment and listen, right?
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of listening, it's time for us to listen to our sponsors today. So don't go away. We'll be right back and have more with Joy after this short sponsor break.
Are you ready to elevate your brand and connect with a dynamic and growing community? We invite pagan-minded businesses and services to sponsor our live YouTube show, where your brand can shine. Visit alexianmusic.com/sponsor to explore this exciting opportunity. Imagine your logo taking center stage, just like our other esteemed sponsors. Join us in celebrating our shared passions and reach a dedicated audience. We can't wait to welcome you on board. Our sponsors for today's show are... Have you heard of Paganmusic.com? It's a site run by Alexian and his husband Victor, who have been championing pagan music for over 30 years. They founded Earth Tone Studios in 1993 and took their support online in 1997 at Paganmusic.com. They're now liquidating their stock, and some items have turned into rare collector's pieces. After the liquidation, they plan to evolve Paganmusic.com into a resource hub, continuing their dedication to all pagan recording artists. Today, Paganmusic.com is excited to donate a $25 cart checkout coupon for the Arcane Treasures Giveaway at the end of the show. We hope it brings the winner some joyous pagan shopping. Today's show is also proudly sponsored by Alexian's official website as pagan recording artist, Alexianmusic.com, where you can explore a world of pagan music and artistry. At Alexianmusic.com, you'll discover a treasure trove of resources, including music recordings, online courses, as well as the Cool Cats community. Join him for bonfire bardic circles, magical spells, recipes, rituals, daily tarot videos, spiritual discussions, pentacle parties, songwriting classes, book swaps, meditations, and so much more. Be part of the fun and enrich your spiritual journey. Today, Alexian is offering a complimentary Rooted Kitten ongoing membership to the Coven of Cool Cats in the giveaway. This $4 per month membership grants you access to his vibrant and growing community. Alexian is also including a limited edition Alexian Show fridge magnet up for grabs during the Arcane Treasures Giveaway at the end of the show. Don't miss your chance to snag this unique collectible and be part of the Alexian adventure. Our sponsors funded today's show, covering equipment, streaming software, and staff. Please support them as they support us. And now let's get back to the show.
Welcome back. So let's jump back all the way back to the 90s again, and let's talk about Dragonwood.
Oh, Dragonwood. Yes. Well, as you mentioned her before, Hillary was a magical force in bringing up the metaphysical community in Orlando at the time, and she was definitely a force to be reckoned with. So she decided that she was going to be opening up her own metaphysical shop right in Orlando. And as we did back in the 90s, we used what was at hand.
With my friends too. I remember sitting on her bed and talking logistics, and Victor and I helped carry those glass cases that are still in there that the register sits on. All of that Victor and I helped carry in place. I don't even know if they ever moved. We painted bookshelves. We basically helped build that store as a community. And it is still around today. Of course, it's not called Dragonwood anymore, but tell us about, you doing well, I should also say Dragonwood became Hearn's Hollow, and then Hearn's Hollow became Avalon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is Sean and I standing in front of the Avalon sign. So if you're looking for the store in Orlando today, that is the name of the store, is Avalon. And when Hillary opened Dragonwood, she had hired on a employee, a helper, Miranda, who was also part of the Fairy Coven. And when she sold the store to Jack, who was renamed it Hearn's Hollow, he kept on Miranda as an employee. And then as beautiful as it is, when Jack decided to sell it, Miranda ended up buying it and renaming it Avalon, and she became one of the owners. So I think that's a beautiful story, how, she started out in the very beginning, and she's the common thread that runs through all of those stores, and she's still there today with Avalon. Yeah. But let's go back to Dragonwood and talk about, all of the artwork that you did for it.
The artwork, actually, the idea for the actual logo for Dragonwood was all Hillary. She just brought it to me. She said, "This is what I want. This is what I want it to look like, and see if you can do it." Because I'm brand new artist right there. I had done some artwork prior to that for people, but to have an actual sign where people were going to drive by it every day and see it and recognize it, that was something brand new to me.
How old were you then?
23.
23. So about 5 years after you flunked out of art school.
Yeah.
High school, art class in high school, right?
Right.
But even then you were amazing,
Thanks.
And
I was learning. I was definitely learning.
This is still proof. So you want to talk about these?
I remember doing some of those. I think that was a combination piece. I think I just did the background on that one. I'm not sure if I had anything to do with that one or not, but it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. These are the Dragonwood newsletters that went out from the store. And I knew that you were doing artwork for Dragonwood, so I was suspicious that maybe you had done some of these.
I remember doing the first one, the background for it, but I think somebody else added the extra material in the middle, or the extra image. I did a few of them. So yeah, I'm surprised you even have any of these, honestly. Still freaks me out.
I scan everything. I really do. I scan everything. So
you're an archivist.
I am. I'm an archivist, and I keep track of connections with friends too. Like, I've literally had people live next to each other in a city, and another city, across the US, and they contact me to figure out how to get in touch with each other. And they're living right next to each other.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm the database guy. I'm the geek. Victor, my husband, calls me IT support.
Oh, so, there you go. Love you too, honey.
Yeah, I started scanning everything, and that was paper, because I wanted to digitize and lighten the load to I ended up recycling a bunch of those. But at the same time, they were also getting old and falling apart. So you want to archive it before it's too late, right? So I digitize everything. Everything gets scanned that comes through the door in this house now. And I'm still working on a backlog of old stuff as well. Yeah. Especially coven stuff and things that have been passed down, through my lineage to me as well. Still archiving all that, making a digital library. But so you did artwork for Dragonwood and Avalon, and you also did initiation artwork for Scrolls.
I did. I think I did some for yours, and I think I did definitely for Elven Earth. I mean, I think I did a
still
lot of those.
have it. I actually have that paper and a scan of the paper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have both. You also did artwork for public ritual programs.
Yes, for
Yeah.
WRTF, I did quite a few of those. If I was allowed to get any kind of paper with a drawing in front of anybody, I was so happy to do it, you know?
So cool. So you also designed the Oddfellows Oracle cards. Tell us what inspired this project.
Well, like I was telling you before, the convention with Billy Piper, I had a fascination, which a lot of times my inspiration turns into like infatuation. So I had an infatuation with tarot cards. But I just wanted to show them more modern, I guess. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but I wanted to give an alternate meaning or symbology rather to the major arcana. So the task of doing an entire tarot deck just wasn't something at the time that I had all the time in the world to do, because each card was hand drawn. I wasn't going to replicate too much. So it made sense to do an oracle deck where there is not a set amount of cards that you have to have, but that made enough sense when you were using them. It would make it a complete reading out of it.
A lot of planning.
Yes. So I collaborated with a friend that I had made in high school, actually, and we happened just to be on the same wavelength at the time. She was pretty incredible. She let me just do the artwork, and she would come up with the readings, the definitions, the meanings. And she did an incredible job on that too.
Nice.
We ended up naming it the Odd Fellows Oracle before I moved out here. So I think these cards probably came out 2015, 2016. It's probably 2016 before they got actually known. But there's actually an Odd Fellows organization. It's a benevolent organization, and it's very prevalent around here in Seattle. They have Odd Fellows stuff all over the place. So I kind of backed away from selling it as the Odd Fellows Oracle just because I didn't want that to get mixed up. Had I done more research or had I known, I would have changed the name to them. So I may bring them back just under a different name so they don't get confused with the actual organization that's out and about in the world.
Rebrand.
Yeah, I think I do need a rebrand on it. So definitely, but they're still out there floating around.
So let's talk about your evolution as an artist. What keeps you motivated to create in today's challenging environment?
Oh, that's a really good question. And I thought a lot about it. With the evolution, I'll even go back as far. I was not a big fan of digital art for a long time. I was just like, it didn't feel like cheating, like AI feels like cheating, but it just felt like it was just too easy. You didn't have to learn technique. You can go out and buy brushes, and they'll do certain things, and etc. I kind of moved into that arena of digital art, but I was using it previously to do bigger pieces of art by hand, traditional artwork. But I've gotten a little used to it. It's good. I will never stop doing things by hand. I will never stop doing that. It's becoming more and more challenging these days because of AI, and take that as however you want. I'm not a big fan of AI art for various reasons. I won't get all political here or anything, but I'm not a big fan. What keeps me doing it is that I know that I'm a human and I am creating something, and somebody will recognize that as another human seeing it and liking it and taking it for that reason.
Absolutely.
You know, so I have to touch and feel and do things that way. I very much enjoy the process and the challenge of creating. So I will never really stop doing it. I just hope people don't stop appreciating it, you know?
This is something I always say. What is the ultimate definition of deity? The creator or the
Yeah.
creatress, right? Want to be more godlike or goddess-like? Be more creative.
That's important to
Yeah.
remember.
I
Mhm.
worship creativity. My husband will tell you that I will cry at a car commercial. And I've done it. And it's because I can see the creativity within the commercial, the photography, the shadow, the lighting, the music, the graphics, even. Like, it's all art, right? And if something is really moving, it will make me cry, even if it's a car commercial, because it's so creative. Yeah, I worship
Absolutely.
creativity. Absolutely worship it. So, can you share what initially sparked your interest in blending horror and science fiction and pop art aesthetics into your artwork? Like, how did that all start? How did you get into that segment?
It was mostly mundanity. Okay, so I was at the time I was a mom to my son Evan, and he's going to school. We still have to make money. We still have to, live, pay bills. And I didn't think that I was going to be doing conventions or making huge amounts of money or doing artwork or anything. So I still wanted to challenge myself. So moving through, the more magical artwork that I was doing, I just wanted to see if I could, upgrade, get to another level. And I found that the artwork, I mean, you watch television show like, I don't know, we'll say Star Wars or something like that. Those artists that create those things that I can't attain, I can't get there, but I can try to emulate almost. I just wanted to see if I could do it. It was a challenge. And the more that I challenged myself, the more I was focusing on broader subjects of like sci-fi, horror, even just mythical or folkloric things that it wasn't in my forefront. So learning about tarot symbolism and how I could use that a different way to make it more modern, but yet still say that's a tarot card. You know what that is. That's a tarot. Or taking the picture that I did of the Angel of Death from Hellboy and just deconstructing it a little bit and really learning how to create the look I wanted to get on paper. I really like seeing if I can do something. I bet you I could do that. You know how you're walking through like Walmart or something, and like, I could paint that. I could paint that piece of artwork that they have that they're selling for $12.99. I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do it better. So I'm constantly doing things like that to challenge myself. So there is an evolution of my work. I would say probably 2016, 2017, in between moving here, leaving Florida and moving out here to Seattle, I didn't have any connections of anybody out here. So the only thing that I could do is just keep working, keep making, keep learning, keep striving to be better. So, or what I perceive to be better, because everybody was like, you were fine before. And I'm like, I could do better. I could do better. Always can do better. And I can always learn more. And I can always gather that knowledge and add it to my arsenal. That's what I always say. I'm adding it to my arsenal.
That's right. Never stop learning. It's the secret to life.
Right? That's one of my taglines.
Learning. Never stop expanding your circle of comfort, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, Joy has generously donated a trio of 8x10 prints for today's Arcane Treasures giveaway. This is one, which is the Three of Swords from the Tarot deck. I love it. And what's the name of this one?
That is the Pentacle of Clarity, I believe. Talisman of Potential. That's what it is. Talisman of Potential. I've done so many of these.
And
that is Sword of Clarity.
Of Clarity. Yeah. There you go. Awesome. So if you are interested in entering to win these 3 prints, now is the time. Just enter #goth into the YouTube comments now. Just type it into the YouTube comments and hit enter. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. #goth to enter. We'll run the drawing at the end of the show. #goth into the YouTube comments now to win the Arcane Treasures giveaway. And don't be shy. Type your questions into chat. It's almost time for questions. Okay, so if people want to reach out to you, how do they get in contact?
I do have my own website. It's pretty simple. It's just joiehiggins.com. I'm also have a presence on Instagram and on Facebook. Those are the 3 main ways you can get in touch with me. I'm trying to build up on my TikTok, but
yeah,
I'll get there eventually.
This is just a smattering of what she has to offer that was showed today. She has tons of artwork that is available for purchase. So definitely go check them all out. I'm sure you'll find something that you just can't live without. Yeah. So explain the OOAK modes. It took me a moment, and then I realized I think that means one of a kind.
Yes, one of a kind.
It took me a moment. I'm like, what's an OOAK? What's an OOAK? And then I'm like, oh, I'm so blonde. It's one of a kind. It's an acronym. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, occasionally I will throw something that I've made just out of the blue. None of them are ever going to be the same. There might be 2 or 3 of them, but none of them are ever going to look the same. So I consider them one of a kind. Like, with the eye pendants and pins and pieces like my skull plaque right here. They're all going to be different. There are going to be tiny imperfections, and they're limited. I don't make them all the time. So that's not me.
No, that's our Ring doorbell going off. We must be having a delivery or something.
No worries. But so that's what that little section is for.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So very much a collector's item for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have mystery boxes on your website.
We do. They're
we don't know what's in them.
Full of fun little things that, I might just pop in there. Probably going to be limited release. Might not see too many of them out there at all.
And then we have the Oracle cards.
Yes, these are prints of the Oracle cards made into note cards. So I have several of those that I just made a new batch of them, actually.
I saw the video. It's very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, they're fun. I know it looks like it's a black card, but when you open up the black card, on the inside there's a white surface for you to write on, so you don't have to get a special pen or anything. You could just write with a regular pen.
Yes, I love it. I love using note cards for all sorts of magical reasons. Yeah. And last but not least, jewelry.
Yes, those are my one-of-a-kind eye pieces. I just think they're creepy and they're fun. They're one of my better sellers at my conventions. Each one is different. Each one's going to give you a different kind of creepy vibe. So, yeah, they're based off of the Victorian notion of the lover's eye. So I just kind of made it 3D and creepy.
I love it. And I love the fixtures that they're in too. Some of them are very ornate.
Yes, those are fun.
Very cool. Okay, let's bring Galena back on and see if we have any questions.
Hello, we do.
Excellent. Take it away.
Actually, the first thing I wanted to go back on is there was a comment. The wall behind you, she loves it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
let me
you. I
pull
love
that
my
up.
bat explosion. The bat explosion, and I just love it. I love it so much.
It is very, very cool. And I see Frankenstein Bride behind you too.
Yes, that was a Michael's find a couple years ago. I couldn't resist it.
That's so neat. I love the bats around the clock. I mean, it just goes together so perfectly. Oh, it's not a clock. What is that? A mirror?
It's a mirror. Yes.
Oh, it's a mirror. I see. Very cool. Next.
And then there's a question. What is your favorite medium to create your art?
I have always been an ink person. I love ink. I know it doesn't look like I work with a lot of ink currently, but most of my work is done in acrylic inks these days. So I've kind of shifted from, regular inks, alcohol ink, into acrylic inks to acrylic paint.
Okay.
And that's it. There isn't any more questions.
Okay. All right. Hey, everyone watching, have you clicked that karma button yet? Give the like button a high five and subscribe and tap the bell for a better chance at winning the Arcane Treasures Giveaway, which is coming right up. But before we do that, it's time for rapid fire questions. Okay. All right. Are you ready? You got your pencil and paper, Joy? All right. I'll bring you back in a second, Galena. All right. Let me get the screen set up correctly. We're going to bring up the clock, and here we go. If you could collaborate with any fictional character on an art piece, who would it be? If you could collaborate with any fictional character on an art piece, who would it be? Question 2, what's your favorite medium to create with? And which one scares you the most? So it's a two-parter. What's your favorite medium to create with? I think Becca's question answered that one. And which one scares you the most? All right, question 3. If your art could come to life, which piece would you want to meet in person first? If your art could come to life, which piece would you want to meet in person first? All right, time's up. Joy, if you could collaborate with any fictional character on an art piece, who would it be?
Oh, that's such a hard question because most of the people that I want to collaborate with are still around. And they're not fictional.
Yeah, we're looking for fictional.
Who would I want to collaborate with? I don't know. Frankenstein?
Ooh, good choice.
Maybe he
Frank-
can make some different choices if we work together, you
Yeah,
know?
I think he represents your energy quite well. You know, you've got that darkness, but you're a sweetheart inside.
Exactly.
You know, that's how Frankenstein was. He was
Yeah.
misunderstood, right?
Well, Frankenstein's monster was misunderstood.
Yeah.
Frankenstein is the
Oh,
doctor.
you're talking about the doctor. I
Yeah.
see. The doctor, even better. He's mad scientist.
Yeah, not scientists, but like I said, maybe we could collaborate and make different choices. You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
Mhm.
All right. Question 2. What's your favorite medium to create with?
Inks are my favorite to work with.
Okay. And which one scares you the most?
Believe it or not, it's oil paints. Those really scare me. I don't know why, because they should be the easiest thing to deal with. I think probably because I would get really lost in them. I've attempted to do them in the past, but for some reason, I like the immediacy of ink and acrylic inks.
Get that. I've tried to, I'm not a professional artist, I'm a hobbyist, but like I've painted in acrylics and I've painted in oil. And oil, you have to kind of like have a vision way ahead, because if you overwork it, it just keeps mixing together, right? Where acrylic is like you've got a few minutes and it's set. It's
Right.
more immediate, you know. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that makes totally sense. Okay, this is the best one. Number 3. If your art could come to life, which piece would you want to meet in person first?
I wrote down Sovereign, which is a piece that didn't come through in my pictures. She
Mhm.
is, I just recently painted her, but this is her second iteration that I just recently painted. She's such a beautiful goddess figure.
She is.
And I feel like when I painted her, it was such an intuitive kind of thing. She's a person, or she's a being, I guess, that I keep coming back to for whatever reason. So I'd like to figure out why and meet her in person.
I'm looking to see if I can bring it up on your website, but on a quick pass through, I can't find it. So I'll give up on that. So yeah, I mean, I know which one you're talking about. And it's, again, that was one of the technical glitches today, right? That
Mhm.
come through, unfortunately. But anyway, you can check it out. I'm sure it's on your website somewhere. I just can't
Yeah.
find it right now. You have so many choices.
I know. I have to pare it down a little bit. I
No,
know.
you don't. I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a wonderful thing, because everybody has their own thing, you know, and then they find what they relate to more. Yeah, no, just keep going.
Okay.
Just
I
keep
will,
going.
I promise. I'll keep going.
All right. So we're going to go back all the way to the beginning of the show. Tell us about flunking high school art.
I had a teacher in Seminole High School in Sanford, Florida, and she was very strict. And of course, I was a young punk rock goth girl in a little country town that didn't really want to follow her rules because I just didn't think that they needed to be applied to a high school class where you're not necessarily teaching technique. She wasn't teaching me sculpting. She wasn't teaching me uh, anatomical drawing. She wasn't doing that. She gave us a set of ideas. We chose what one we wanted to work on, and I thought I was doing that. And with each project that I turned in, it wasn't up to her standards for whatever reason. And I ended up dropping that class because I just wasn't making the grade in there. So I felt very what's the word I'm trying to say? I felt that she was not giving me the direction an art class teacher should have at the time.
Kind of sounds like she was being biased, and she was
Maybe.
probably a little jealous that you were being so artistic in your expression of life and being who you are. And Sanford, Florida was
Truly.
that's not Christian.
That's right. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. I'm like, well, whatever. So.
Conform, you young lady. Conform. And you're like, screw that. I can totally see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar experience in high school. I didn't fit into a specific class that I needed to continue my high grades, and I was going to be actually graduating with honors. And because this one teacher kind of bogarted me, not bogarted me, but like blocked me from receiving a good grade in her class, even though it was obvious she was favoring her class pets. Let's put it that way. I ended up having a lower grade, and it knocked me out of the top 10%.
Rude.
Yeah, she screwed me over, but it didn't matter. I went on to succeed, so whatever,
Yeah,
just like you. Look at you now. Look at you now. Look at you. Where's she at? All right, guys. The moment you've been waiting for has finally arrived. It's time for the Arcane Treasures Giveaway drawing. If you haven't already done so, type #Goth into the YouTube comments and enter. And don't forget to spank that like bell, subscribe, and spank the, yeah, you know what to do. You know what I mean. Do the things. Do the things. All right. Here we go. Let me take this off the stage and let me put this on the stage. That's our countdown timer. All right. Are you ready? Here we go. You got 1 minute to enter. Someone is about to win a trio of art prints from Joie Higgins, goth pagan artist, a $25 cart coupon from paganmusic.com, a free ongoing kitten membership in my Cool Cats community. We're going to have so much fun. And I got one over here, the Alexian Show limited edition fridge magnet. Ooh la la, ooh la la. Hold it up right. To enter the win, just type #Goth. 20 seconds. We got 4 entries, and we got 5 people watching live. Somebody has not entered, and you have 8 seconds to do so. #Goth in the YouTube comments. And time is up. All right, let me share this screen. And I want you guys to, I'm going to wish you all good luck. Here we go. Becca! Congratulations to Becca. Please email me directly at lordalexian@gmail.com to claim your treasures. I want to express a heartfelt thank you to my guests and sponsors today, Joy. You know I love you. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your amazing art with us. And to our viewers, if you've missed our previous episodes, you can catch the replays, so be sure to check them out. Draken and I will return next month for episode 21 with Alexander James Adams, pagan musician, airing live on Sunday, November 2nd. Mark your calendars, Sunday, November 2nd. Have a wonderful, fabulous day, and we'll see you next month. Blessed be. Oh, let me bring that. Where'd she go? There's Galena. Bye.